It's Robin Moser and Victoria and Anna here with Robin Moser Associates and Remax Professionals.
I have no idea what happened. I'm just like staring at the camera, smiling.
Victoria was watching me do the editing, and she goes, "Why are you about to stop it?" I was like, "Oh, good call."
Stop the show right after the intro is done.
Yeah, my finger was on the wrong spot on the screen. So, anyways. Here we are today, and we are going to be making an amazing looking cocktail called Butterfly Kisses and talking about how small investments in real estate can make a huge and dramatic effect to your net worth and your real estate portfolio. So let's start with the fun part, and that is the cocktail. And I can tell you it looks so pretty.
It is beautiful. Yes, I'm excited.
So we're starting with a shaker full of ice.
Oh my God. Get close to the camera.
Not really close. A shaker full of ice. And then now...
Okay, it was stuck.
That's okay. Now we're going to do we're going to start with the 2 ounces of, just keep going. Stop touching. 2 ounces.
It's about the screen.
Of Empress gin. But we do
actually
ask that you use, and this originally was actually made to do amethyst gin, which you get from Confluence, but we couldn't find it, so we're using Empress gin because it has the same purple tinge to it. So you can use either or, but obviously to make the cocktail perfect, you're going to want to use that Confluence amethyst gin.
And it's a local distillery. I believe they're in Inglewood, so like go check it out. Yeah.
And then we made a honey lavender syrup. So how I made the honey lavender syrup is you can actually buy lavender as kind of a spice in the spice shop in Inglewood. And I actually save my lavender from my garden personally, and I put it into the little lavender jars, and I save it personally for me. So I just put honey, water, and the lavender together, and I boiled them until they reduced, and then I cooled it, and that's how I made the syrup. It honestly takes, at best, 5 to 10 minutes. It doesn't take long. And then we've got lemon juice all in there, and then you want to put in the shaker, and you want to shake it for about 15 to 20 seconds. Make sure it's nice and cold, almost like hard for your hands to hold it.
And then that's from Mexico.
That is a return.
All right, so here we go. And we are going to, you have to double strain this one though, because you might actually have bits of the lavender in. So double straining is taking another strainer plus the strainer here, and you're double straining it into the glass to make sure that no bits of lavender actually get into the cocktail.
So floral.
There we go. And then I took a dried lemon rind and just any kind of flour. You can stick it right on top of the lemon rind.
Anna already mentioned to me that it's not edible.
It's not edible.
Like
flour.
I ate half of the plants in her house. Yeah.
And that is what this cocktail is.
Hey, cheers. Look how beautiful this is.
Beautiful.
It's like a great dinner party.
That is a really nice cocktail. Very floral.
Oh my God. It's delicious.
It is. That is a really, really, really nice cocktail. Highly recommend.
It's delicious.
Yes.
Yeah. I would absolutely serve that to dinner guests. I don't even know when I would serve it. This is a wild cocktail.
How much gin did we put there? It's
2 ounces, actually.
Strong. Yeah.
Yeah, but I absolutely would serve this to dinner guests.
But what I like about it, it's like very floral. It's quite easy flavored. Kind of have sweetness and tang from the lemon, but it's punchy.
It is.
So
punchy.
it's a sipper as well. So I like that. You know, it kind of
it's kind of strong. Yeah.
Yeah, it's more like on the martini side, I would say, like than a cocktail side. But it's delightful. I love it.
It is.
And it's so pretty.
Yeah. And honestly, like I said, the syrup is super easy. Just find the lavender or keep your lavender from lavender plants. I always like to do that. Dry it out and keep it. So
you know what, guys? It's like 12 o'clock and I haven't had any drinks yet. So to me, I'm starting late. And like, in Mexico, I just had my pina colada for breakfast. So I'm catching up now.
There you go. So.
Okay, we have some great points there. Robin put some together really good points about
how in the small investment can make a bigger. Oh my God, it's really good cocktail.
Let's put it this way: if you guys don't own anything, like in terms of real estate, there is nothing you can gain. because by owning a real estate, you have a million ways to gain profit from it. From living in it, from renting it, like, there's a tons of things you can do. And I think a lot of people kind of think, well, I own a house and it's very expensive, and they don't think of buying another house because they already think it's inexpensive.
Well, so what I always find funny is you get a lot of people that will think their primary residence is not part of their net worth or their portfolio. I had a couple I was chatting with the other day, and they were talking about how much of a net worth they had, and they wouldn't even consider the value of their home as part of their net worth. So I actually redid what their net worth was, showed them how much of a net worth they actually had, and they actually realized that they were way farther ahead than what they are. Now, I understand why people don't want to consider their home part of their net worth because they're worried, they need a place to live. They don't want to ever put that into jeopardy. But honestly, a lot of times you can leverage your current residence to get more real estate and more investments in real estate to give you that bigger cash flow, bigger net worth, all that kind of stuff. So what I kind of explained to them and we talked to them about it is everything that sits inside your house, every part of your net worth that's sitting in the equity of your current primary residence is earning you whatever the current mortgage rate is. So that means that all that money sitting inside your house right now that you've got paid off is earning you about 4.67%. And if that's okay for you, that's okay. It is okay to be okay with money only earning 4.67%. But if you can take that money at 4.67% and you can turn around and you can make it earn 16%, isn't that so much better?
I always given my clients my example. I bought a house for 445 5 years ago, and right now, like, it costs 700,000 house.
Wow.
So it plus I paid the mortgage already 100 grand already paid off. So basically, I owe 300,000 on the house that right now costs 700,000. So the market, how it works, it's produce the equity. It's not like I paid it. I paid just 100,000, but
Yeah.
another 300,000 is because of the Canadian, our real estate market, and is growing.
I bought my house for 210. It was a long time
I'm
ago,
not
but
gonna tell you how much I paid, but my house is 500,000 up from what I paid for it.
there you go. So
Yeah,
see,
from the sticker price.
and that's
so.
paying what you're going to pay anyhow, and that's so cool. So this is kind of one of the big things is in Calgary and the surrounding areas has an average rate of return from 1995 until now of 6.25%. Now it is an average rate of return, but
Yes.
everyone's always like, sometimes it goes down. Yes, sometimes it goes down.
But sometimes it goes up.
And sometimes it goes
up a
and
lot.
it goes up more often than it goes down. And honestly, at 6.25% compounding interest, and that's how you make your money. And this is what I teach my children. Compounding interest is how you make your money. That is how you're going to grow your net worth. That is how you're going to make your cash, is that compounding interest. So at 6.25%, so let's say $100,000 investment, over 10 years can go from $100,000 to $185,000, plus you're going to pay off $25,000 in equity. So you're really now looking at having $100,000 of equity.
I feel like we should have like different colored blocks that we should all like stack together so you can see how compound interest works.
Exactly. I love compounding interest. Like compounding interest I learned about when I was 16 years old. And I became hyper focused on compounding interest and how I can make compounding interest.
I feel like that could be different show.
I know. Investing became a very big thing for me. But also too is if you buy houses that you don't need to live in, which you should always buy a house obviously to live in first, but if you buy a house that you don't need to live in, honestly, I joke around all the time and I say I love renters. They pay off a lot of my mortgages. Mm-hmm. I told a story to my mom when I was younger in real estate and trying to convince her to buy real estate as an investment vehicle. And I said, okay, well, Mom, if you're going to borrow $400,000 and I said, can I just make your payments for you? Would you let me? And of course, my mom was like, oh, that's so stupid. Why would you do that? I said, but if I could, if you borrowed $400,000 and I said, can I please just make the payments for you? And you said, yeah, okay. Would you let me? And she's like, of course I would let you. That's the stupidest thing in the world, but yes, I would let you. I said, okay, awesome. Now, if you're going to take that $400,000 and you were going to invest it in something that was getting you a 6.25 rate of return compounding, And I said, I don't want any of that. I don't want any of the growth. I just want to make your loan payments for you. I said, would you let me? And she goes, of course I would. And then if you happen to have a house that you weren't living in, that you didn't really need, could I like live there in return for making these loan payments for you? And she goes, well, of course I would let you do that. I said, awesome. What do you think renters do? That is
Yeah, isn't this
exactly
crazy?
what renters do.
Yeah, like one of the things in, for right now, some of the tenants, I want to actually talk to the people who actually rent right now. You might still have a contract that you want to be for the next 6 months with a really good payment rate. Like, if you have closed and you're still paying under the market value for your rent, this is a perfect time for you to start looking at the properties that you can buy right now at lower price than it's going to be at the end of June. Get your mortgage sorted out, get a tenant there, and they will pay a new market rate, which is going to be a lot higher than what you're paying. You're actually going to have a money left over, and somebody will be covering your real estate expenses.
But we need to mention if you're buying investment property and planning, they have an intention to rent it out, you need to put 20% down.
Yes, you do have to put 20% down.
But that's, talk, your first home.
If it's
You
your
can,
first home,
yeah, your first home, we can do it as a primary residence, especially if you have that 4 6 months left.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also too is keep in mind if you're doing this, like what I love, and I absolutely love this, is sitting down with people and when they say, hey, I want to
Yes.
buy an investment property, and I'm like, awesome, let's talk about
Or
the
just
whole
build a
package.
portfolio. Like, you
Yeah.
say like, how can I own more than one property or even just one property? You have no idea. Like we make all different kind of plans for like, how to start. Everybody starts with something small, something very
Yeah,
inexpensive.
like investment, when we talk about investment in real estate, everybody just imagines like big numbers, like $500,000, like or more.
Yeah.
But it doesn't have to be like that. Like
You
can
can
just
start
get a
with a
small
small
condo.
apartment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What I always love too is when people sit there and they say, well, I can't qualify. What you may not know is that when you're buying a rental property, the bank is going to actually do and look at what the rent is that you would get from the property. And they're going to add that into your current income to help you qualify. So they can actually take the projected rent on the property and they add it to your income for you to qualify to buy that property.
It's the same when you have a suite in a basement. They're gonna add this income to your, for example, if you're buying the detached house, for example, you qualify for
Yeah.
500,000.
And you're gonna live upstairs and live.
And if you're
Right.
buying like with a suite in a basement, the bank will count this income that you're gonna receive from your basement tenants. And for example, you're gonna receive a mortgage 530.
One thing, disclosure again, guys, if you don't have a great mortgage brokers, please contact us as well because it's very important to know what program will fit the best for you because not every bank is the same. How they use the income from rented properties, the percentage is also different. Some of them use more, some of them use less. So there is a different ways also to get a proper mortgage that works the best for you.
And a lot of times people don't realize this, which again is something, I joke around about tax mitigation all the time. I teach my kids about tax mitigation, legal always. But when you own a rental property, the interest of the mortgage is tax deductible
That's
against
right.
your income. The cost of maintaining it, so if you have to do maintenance on the property, is a tax deductible expense. Any other expenses, and you can actually, if you say, oh, I don't want to be a landlord, which I hear all the time, that's awesome. Hire someone to be your landlord. They're going to take really on a good property manager is going to take 10% of your gross rent. If you talk to someone and they say 30, tell them to pound sand and go find someone else. But 10% of your gross rent, and they'll manage and do everything for you. But all of that is tax deductible against the income you're earning off that property.
Yeah, and I think, you have to figure it out like what is your end goal. So if you want to do a more of a cash flow on monthly basis, obviously managing yourself is better.
Yeah.
But if you just kind of grab a property and you're holding it for X period of time, maybe until your children grow up and they can live in there or they can sell it to put the money into something, then, who cares what's your cash flow on monthly basis? As long as it's covering your expenses, and it's all tax deductible, then you're keeping that property basically of expense free.
And a lot of people, you'd be shocked how many people now are buying properties when their kids are young and holding on to them so their kids have a house that they can buy from the parents at a reasonable rate when they're old enough. So that is happening more and more and more. And I've seen lots of parents do it. I think it's a fantastic idea, or even finding something, because I hear all the time, and I'm going to be honest, as a realtor, I hate defeatist attitudes when people are saying my kids won't be able to buy a house. Yeah, they will. Teach them how. They will be able to buy a house, but you got to teach them, and you got to talk to them about it, and you got to show them how to set up to buy it. You got to teach them, because they're not going to know how to buy a house unless you help them and you show them. And you might have to co-sign for them to start, but that's what, that's part of you getting the kids on their own feet and stuff like that, so that they move out of your basement, because we
I
all
mean,
want them
let's
to
put
move
it
out.
this way. I think a lot of generations were saying like our kids cannot buy this and buy that because when they were buying, a house or a piece of land for 20K, imagining that that would be at 2 million right now in some cases, like look at like Lake Bonavista, for example, right? That tear down goes for 2 million at the lake. It was hard to imagine. But here we are, we're tearing it down and building new and all that kind of stuff, right?
When we talk about investment, there is like always a lot of way to invest, like stock market and like mutual funds. But one thing you need to remember about real estate investment, it's solid investment. We have a land and it's limited.
Goes nowhere.
Yeah.
So
Supply and demand.
yeah, you don't have like all the land to build in, so it's gonna be always limited.
Yep.
Yeah, and the thing is with the real estate, it is going up, it does goes down, but the thing is always there. Like nobody can take it away, right? Like once
Unless you're the government or you don't pay your bills.
well, yeah, well, we were talking about this. Jeez, like just stick it out of there.
I'm just saying.
Yeah. But I'm saying the house doesn't grow the legs and walks away. Like, where like on the bond
It does
market,
not grow like.
yeah, the bond market, like, they grow legs there and on long arms and take it away from you. But what I'm saying, it's just there. Like, as long as you can figure it out how to manage sometimes through the hardships of the economy, your real estate by, make sure it's rented properly or taken care of properly, whatever it is you have to hustle, but it's there for you with it after those years,
And if
and
you
it's still
can't figure it
profitable.
out, if you can't figure it out,
Yeah,
you
you call
always
us.
have
Well,
You call us.
and
some
the
advisors.
Yes.
yeah, but the more houses you buy, the more houses you have the leverage to buy more houses. And actually, Clint made a point once, which I actually thought was funny, because I actually at first didn't agree with him. He says it's never a bad time to buy a house. And I said I got some people from the 80s that would beg to differ. And he says no. He says it might be a bad time to sell a house, but it's never a bad time to buy a house. And I actually don't disagree with that, because
That's right.
if you hold on to the house long enough, eventually it'll be worth more than what you paid for it. It's just a matter of when, and it's whether it's on your time or someone else's timeline. And if you can hold your investments to only divest them when it's on your time, it can be an incredible opportunity in real estate. And actually, so it's funny talking about, so I was explaining this to someone else. The dirt is what appreciates. The house actually depreciates unless you keep up the house in maintenance.
Right.
So the houses depreciate and the dirt appreciates. So it's expensive. I always joke around about expensive dirt or the price of dirt and stuff like that. So when I bought my house in 2001, I bought my entire house and the dirt for 210, and you can't even buy a lot now for 210. So that's how expensive the dirt has gotten. So the dirt is not going to be more dirt. There is no way that the world can make more dirt. We have the dirt we have. So that's why the dirt gets expensive, and that's why it's such a great investment. And that's also too is why they talk about location, right? You get those people that say location, 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 because certain dirt in certain locations is a lot more valuable.
Yeah, like when we talking how like the Calgary sprawl like goes so far beyond now that the driving, like you have to either live within your community or you have to embrace the drive, right? So if you decide to be closer to inner city, well, the closer you get by inner city, that like the
That
price on
dirt
the
goes
dirt
up.
goes up, and that's why the crew development, what 5-7 years ago, you can get a house for 400,000, knock it down, build two, sell it for 8 per side.
But honestly, when I moved, it was like 8 years ago.
Yeah.
We lived in Evergreen, and it was like only one area, Silverado,
Yeah.
like
Yes.
below the Stony.
Now
and right
it's well
now we have
beyond.
Seaton, we have Rangeview, we have Belmont, we have Yorkville. So it's just, and it's only for 8 years. Like
Yeah.
Well, so the one thing that I've been watching is I watch Costa Rica market. So if you think this is limited to Calgary, it's not. Costa Rica now, We bought our property in Costa Rica in 2021 for 285,000, and now lots are going for $200,000 in Costa Rica. So this is not just limited to Calgary, and there are marketplaces that are moving faster than even the Calgary marketplaces. So this is like a global thing on how fast this dirt is going up, because supply, there's only so much dirt. Demand, there's a lot of people, and the people aren't slowing down.
Yeah, so that's sometimes people like, well, is there a value? Well, sit down, like if we get to sit down together, we can always say, listen, here's why the value will continue to grow in certain places, no matter what. Like if you want more of a solid investment, you don't have to worry too much about, yes, and you have to pay a lot more for it, but over time will improve that it's gonna give you the gains in any market.
And according to the forecast, we're gonna be the market gonna be growing at least till 2027.
That's
After
right.
that, we just don't have any forecast.
Well,
I actually like one of the points that Robin put here. So you hear this all the time, that real estate is not a liquid investment.
It is super liquid.
And like I was reading, it's like it is a liquid investment. And I just want to bring this, people like, well, you can't just sell something. Well, not every market is the same. Yes, sometimes it's harder to sell something. Sometimes it's harder to buy something. Depends on the price range and things. But at the end of the day, if you need to sell something, you can sell it at any market. It's just maybe not at the price you want.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
Yes.
Just because you don't like the price doesn't mean it can't sell.
It doesn't mean it's not liquid. Yeah.
All right. So, price time.
Okay, so we are getting ready for the patio weather. It goes well with my tan, doesn't it? But yeah, it's plastic, so it's super, what is it?
Durable.
Safe. I was thinking safe to take it to the patio. Have some drinks. It's a hurricane glasses.
And this looks like actually the real glass.
It's
really well made.
It's 6 of them, so you can have 6 friends over, make amazing cocktails like that we put here on the show. And next week you can win it. So the best way to do it, you like, love, share, tag your friends on any social media platform. You see Tipsy Realtors, which is obviously Facebook Live, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube and things like that.
Next week we're gonna talk about the cocktail called B&B.
I felt like this is the drink we should have drank today, because I kind of got excited because it's basically booze with booze in a sniffer. Yeah. So
but this is working from home solutions and running your business from home, which is actually it obviously flourished during COVID of these work from home solutions.
I guess Robin's gonna talk about taxes in this one when you're working from home.
Well, I don't know
what you can write off.
Well, I love writing off office. Home. It's called tax mitigation. Yeah. I love tax mitigation.
But again, you have to remember we're not an accountant, so any of those certified professionals, we are realtors.
Yes.
So this is just a suggestions to ponder on. So you guys decide to buy a home, we can help you to figure it out how to do that, so you can live and work and play.
Absolutely, yeah. And we can definitely refer you to great accountants who are lawful, because that's always my big question. Follow the law. But who are very good at finding tax mitigation solutions.
Absolutely. Okay. Again, thanks for watching. Stay warm. Happy Easter. Who's celebrating it? And for Hidden Valley, Sundance, Midnapore, and Chesterfield community, if you guys watching,
hold on.
The duck hunt is happening. Each of us are doing 400 ducks. Come on. They're gonna be hiding all over the community. You guys can go out with your kids, all kids in heart, and collect all different rubber ducks.
And then if you're gonna
tag Robin Moser
and take a picture, and don't forget to write what area you found it on.
Yes.
You're gonna be entered to the draw, right?
Yes.
Enter the draw for a 4 movie pack.
We should have made a drink with our rabbit duck sitting in there. That would have been so fun. All right. But look for the ducks. It's going to be a full weekend of fun. And we're going to announce 3 winners on Monday, April the 1st. Not to be the fools.
That's right. So we'll announce the winners afternoon, so you know you can trust us. All right. Thank you so much.
Thanks
If you
so
know
much.
anyone buying or selling real estate in the next 6 to 12 months, friends, family members, coworkers, neighbors, whether you like them, whether you don't like them, please refer them to us at Robin Moser and Associates because we like everybody.
Yes.
All right.
See you next week.
Bye.